Hey.
Hi.
It's Tash and Carly.
And you're listening to Motherhood.
Not as we planned.
So get comfy, grab a cup of tea.
Or a glass of wine, and let's start talking about all the things too many of us avoid discussing. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. Hope everyone is good. Should we have a little week without you? I have not spoken to you.
We haven't.
I'm sorry, where have you been?
Oh, do you ever get those weeks where you just like, not to be dramatic, but I just feel like I've been surviving day to day. I've had a really overwhelming week. Has it been a full moon or something? I don't know.
Fuck knows. All this retrograde shit. I ain't got a clue what's going on.
I don't know. Firstly, I just never feel like I have enough minutes in the day.
I feel you.
Had a bit away for the weekend again. Another spa weekend. I know, don't feel sorry for me. And it was amazing.
Finding out.
God, yes, so hard, Carly. But no, on a serious note,
I'm just surviving day to day at the spa.
There's obviously some things I can't speak about.
Yeah.
Don't believe it's right to speak about. But yeah, just I had some difficult situation over the course of at the end of last week, and trying to know what to say and what I probably should hold back on. But I guess I've just had one of those weeks where I'm finding splitting my kids and co-parenting really challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually been quite proud of myself of initially with this situation, I didn't necessarily bite my tongue, but when I took a step back, I've handled it a lot better since. And I don't know, it's just, I kind of have reached a point where I'm so over it. I'm so over there always being some kind of drama or disagreement. Like, I'm very much at the stage where it's been well over a year now and I have moved on. And actually, as much as sometimes I do still hate him because of the things he does, it's not so much the stuff that's been and gone now.
Yeah, it's more what he's doing.
Yeah, and I kind of just wish we could get to a point where it was when I was writing our quote for this week, and it was about like the hardest thing I've ever done is to forgive someone who wasn't sorry and accept apology I never got. And I kind of sat there and was thinking, you need to actually just forgive him now, and you're never going to get what you want to get. And I think, I don't know.
It's funny you say that because you probably won't remember this, but I probably said what you just said in like episode 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there saying like, it takes a lot for someone to forgive someone that's not sorry, and that's where I was. And I think from that moment moving forward, that's when I really managed to like let go and really fully heal, because I knew that I wasn't ever going to get that apology.
I think that's where I'm at now. And I think, I don't know. Not that I've ever thought an apology or whatever was coming. I don't know. I think I'd always hoped that there might be a light bulb moment for him, or just something. Yeah. And I don't know. I'm very much at the point now, I think, where I'm in a good place in myself and I'm very sure of the things I want, and like I've moved on so much from him. Like I have zero feelings towards the man, which is crazy when you think you were married to someone. But I just wish we could both get to a point now where it's actually just nice that we didn't make each other happy, and to recognise that.
And like I've always said, where you've got to kind of work with what you've got, you need to both want that.
I agree. And I can't say to anyone else, but exactly. Yeah, so I found this week quite difficult. I've been up and down, I'm not going to lie. I'm struggling a little bit with my anxiety at the moment. I've had quite a few high anxiety days, and sometimes I can't even explain why I'm having them. I will wake up and it literally feels like my heart wants to jump out my chest the whole day. I've been trying these different breathing techniques I've learned to help, and they help like in the moment, and I feel like I can like delay them a bit and it be like a temporary thing. I don't know. One of my friends has actually recommended a couple of products to me, which I think I'm going to buy this week, and she said it massively helps her anxiety. Let me find what they are actually. Ashwagandha.
Yeah, sorry, isn't that weird?
Okay, well we need to get it then, don't we?
Yeah.
So she said, I've
already ordered it.
Okay. So on the site, type ashwagandha.
TikTok, apparently.
Okay, and the other thing is clean lion's mane. I'm guessing it's not part of a lion.
Yeah.
It says 40% polysaccharide. So yeah, I thought I'd share that. It's that's from one of my friends who suffers with anxiety, and she said like she's noticed.
One of my friends told me about it, and she said honestly, since she's taken it, it's like she just feels.
I think they're all like natural things. Yeah, they're not like medicinal.
No. Yeah, that ashwagandha.
Yeah, it's like
same.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try it. Do you know the weird thing for me?
It's going to be funny. Next week, we're both going to be on it. We're going to be like, hey guys,
well, then he says,
yeah, man, peace and love.
Just forgive and forget.
Live on, rock on.
No, but like, I think the thing I struggle with is I have never suffered with anxiety or anything like that. I've always been a very carefree, happy, positive person. And it actually makes me really sad that I feel like I've lost a bit of that. Like, I literally used to be the most, like, I never suffered with anything like that. And part of me, I think that's why I want to get it under control so much, because I refuse to let, like, I was sitting thinking the other day, like, I don't want being a single parent or going through a divorce to define who I am. It's absolutely not who I am. It's just part of my story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes I do let it define me. And, you know, we all have days where it's, you feel sorry for yourself, whatever it is. And on the whole, I'm not like that. But yeah, I don't know.
It's one of those weeks.
I've just had one of those weeks. And to be fair, my kids have been amazing this week. Like, the more and more, I don't know, they just love me so much at the moment. I know it sounds really silly, but I feel like I really am noticing when they're coming back, they're so well behaved for me. They want to help me. Like last night, and this is another thing I thought I'd talk about. Sorry, this is a really long catch-up, but I feel like it's
all good,
purposeful. But on my Instagram, when everything happened, I shared a very honest journey that when I was going through grief, I lost a lot of weight. I wasn't eating, and I did get to a point where I was unhealthy. And I'm not going to lie, like, I have struggled to get back to where I was. I've struggled to have healthy relationships with food. I feel like I don't eat proper meals. I just snack here and there. And it was actually when I was filming an ad for something on Instagram the other day, and I caught a glimpse of myself, and I just got really upset because I've always been like an advocate for health. And whilst I get some people like, Paddy, your body is amazing, like it's not that's not been achieved in a healthy way, which is where sometimes, like in my job of being a PT, I feel a bit fraudulent because I don't want anyone to look at me and aspire to be like me at the moment, because that's not been done in a healthy way. And I'd much rather be healthy than look skinny or whatever it is. So I had a really honest conversation with my boyfriend in the car, and I don't speak to people about stuff like that. Like, I keep things in and I cope with them on my own, and that's kind of what I did majority of my marriage. And I said to him, I don't really know how to say this, but I think I need some help in terms of eating. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to reach out. And he was so amazing with me. Like, literally, I said, it's nothing to do with me being scared of putting on weight. It's not that at all. I feel like as a single parent with two kids who are so young, who don't necessarily eat the same foods as me, and juggling my own business and everything else in a house, I am bottom of my priority list.
Mm-hmm.
And I often feel like, as a result, I skip dinner, I skip lunch. In my head, I'm like, I don't have time. You've got this work to do. You've got this to do. That comes above that. And I'm so low in energy. I feel like it's affected my mood. And I don't know, I think it's good that I've accepted it's happening. And that's what he said to me. He said, it's a really good thing that you're recognizing it and you're speaking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been really sweet. Like, we went through my Tesco order and we ordered some things. He's like, right, this is what you're going to do this week. We're going to do it one meal at a time. Like, focus on dinner this week. We're going to get some mince. You're going to make a big bolognese, and that's going to last you 2 to 3 nights. And I feel so much. And he's like, you know, you can have the accountability to me. Like, I'm going to ask you to send me a picture of your food every evening or whatever it is. And then he was like, have you tried cooking with the kids? And to be honest, I haven't, because they're so young. And I've never really considered it. So last night we all stood and we cooked a bolognese together, and it was so nice. And we all sat down and ate dinner together, and I ate dinner, and yeah, I mean, it was really positive, and yeah, just wanted to share for anyone else who like struggles and who is a single parent and feels like they're always at the bottom, and actually by us neglecting ourselves and not filling up our cups and looking after us. Like, I feel like I can't even look after myself at the moment. I'm so focused on pouring into my kids, pouring into making sure, you know, money's coming in, that actually looking after me is at the bottom. But really, if I actually pour some more into me, I can give more to all of those things as well. So yeah, that's a bit of a honest
catch up.
What about you?
Do you know what? It's interesting because I feel like I do feel like I have turned a bit of a corner, but then on reflection, and I know I said this to you earlier, like, I think it's actually quite interesting. In the last few months, obviously, I'm on my own sort of like healing journey with a breakup, and it's quite interesting to kind of like look back at the episodes, and it really does show that like healing isn't linear. Like, one week I'll be really good, and I remember it was maybe like a month and a half ago now where you were like, you've got a real glow about you, and I was like, yeah, like I'm feeling really good. And then I reckon like 2 weeks after that I was really low, and I think it just really shows you in real time that going through a breakup is up and down. And right now I'm feeling a bit better, but I'm also very aware that that may not be consistent or continue. But I don't know, I just feel like I'm maybe at a stage in my healing journey where I'm actually really now finally doing the work. I think before it was a bit of like masking, distracting. Maybe I was good because I just wasn't doing the right things to really...
Almost like ignoring the feeling.
Keeping myself really busy. I don't know, I just feel like right now I'm genuinely like trying to accept the situation and taking accountability that I am the only person that can make myself feel better. And I also do feel like when I separated from my ex-husband and I was on my own for a few months before I went back onto the dating scene, once I went on... and at that point, before I went on the dating scene, I had definitely healed from what he had done to me and accepted it. And I was very close to kind of getting over him. But once I started dating, I felt ready enough to put myself out there that I wasn't carrying like anger and resentment about something and just doing it to distract myself. However, once I started dating, it's sort of, I don't want to say it in a way where I'm like, oh, like I'm just so amazing that like guys are just falling at my feet. But for some reason, when I started dating at that point, it came really easily to me. I don't know, I just feel slightly empowered now that for the first time, I'm actually doing the right thing on my own. So that's where I am right now. Like, I'm still very much like not looking at, I'm on a man band. I'm so uninterested. Like, I'm really just pouring into myself.
That's the best thing to do.
So that's where I am right now. And like, who knows if that's going to change in a few weeks. But for now, we good. So yeah, that's me.
Love that.
Should we get cracking with some emails?
Yeah, I know we've had loads of emails. Right, guys, we're doing this one because it's called Criminal Record.
Oh?
We love a bit of a criminal record. Well, we don't. I love a juicy story.
Yes.
Is what I meant to do. Hi, girls. Love the podcast. I stumbled upon it last year after splitting with my husband. First of all my friends and not having anyone I could talk to who would understand. It helped me so much. It was like therapy to me. I love hearing this. Guys, I mean, we want to reach more people. So, like, I'm going to just say it now whilst we're just about to get stuck in. Please share on your Instagram. If you're listening to us, take a screenshot of it or take a picture. Like, someone sent a picture to me this morning of them in their car, like in their car radio. We want to see it. We want you to share it. We want you to review. Why are you not reviewing us when you love us so much? Like,
you know what? It's not only that. I think it's she's gone and said that like she felt really lonely. She had no one going through it. If you share it, you might help just one person find that like place where they don't feel
100%. Yeah, we hear the same. Share the love, guys. Share the love. Sharing's caring. So, split up with my husband last year. By September, I thought, let's give dating a go. I know that sounds quick, but the split has been pending for months, and I was ready to hopefully spend some time with someone. Do you know what, as well, on the dating thing, like, me and my boyfriend were talking about it, and we dated quite early. We matched quite early. And I think from the outset, we've always said we don't think either of us were really ready to date. Mm-hmm. And I still hold that. We weren't. I look back now and I'm like, wow, you were so broken. And we have genuinely helped each other in ways that we would never have. And, you know, still a year on, there's still bits we're trying to work on. So I don't think there's ever a set amount of time you have to wait. You just got to roll with it. Like, at the end of the day, you're only going to know by trying. Mm-hmm. Matched with a guy on Bumble. He was tall, 6'4", tattooed and cool.
Do you know what that just reminded me of? I'm looking for a guy in finance, trust fund, blue eye. No? You don't know that song? Are you joking? I'm looking for a guy in finance.
I definitely would.
6'5", blue eye. Right?
Okay, never mind. I definitely wouldn't go for a guy in finance.
No, neither. Boring. I'm joking.
Anywho, the opposite of my husband. Was he short, plain, and not cool? He was a teacher, so I thought, okay, must be reputable. Met for a first date, and I had to go to him as his car was in the garage. He didn't drink, as said he was off it as he used to drink too much.
Sorry, it's a bit of a red flag for me already. I've got to be honest. Yeah. I don't mind if someone doesn't drink, if they don't like getting drunk, or it's just something that they don't like dabbling with. But to me, that's like, are you you know,
okay.
Yeah. And again, each their own. Some people don't mind it. Some people stay in recovery for 50 plus years. I personally, from staff, wouldn't go with someone with addiction.
First date went well and ended up with a little smooch, and he invited me to his house for the second date, and to be honest, the sexual tension was palpable. We ended up upstairs, and it wasn't until his trousers were off I discovered he was wearing
a tag, an electric tag on it! Oh my God.
What's that around your ankle?
Oh my God. Do you know what? I feel like, would I know? Like, I'm trying to think, would I think it was like an Apple Watch? Just getting my steps in, huh?
Pedometer.
Oh my God. How can you not mention that?
I don't think he's a teacher if he's got an electric tag around his ankle. GDPR, not GDPR. What is it? We kids.
Oh, I don't know. You're the teacher.
We've got to have a check, the background.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's the way that I probably would think it's for, like, your steps.
You wouldn't even know, like. It's 10,000 today.
Nice anklet.
10,000. So, turns out this was a sobriety tag. He couldn't drink. And his car wasn't in the garage.
He's lost his licence from drink driving.
He has been banned from driving. Red flag, get out of there, girl. I had never heard of a sobriety tag before. I've never heard of it, actually. I was a bit shocked. I ended up seeing him. I'm going to Google that. Okay, they are monitoring tags, electronic ankle bracelets that detect alcohol consumption through the skin using transdermal methods. They monitor individuals convicted of alcohol-related crimes by taking sweat samples every 30 minutes, 24 hours a day. Did not.
Okay, so do you think it would go off if he had like a bolognese with a bit of red wine in it today?
That's how long it's been cooking for. So I had to Google the other day.
What's to make sure you don't like get your kids drunk?
Yeah, I had to Google like how many minutes you have to cook for before it like burns all up.
I know. Imagine your kids like drunk.
Anyway, I had never heard of a sobriety tag before and was a bit shocked. I ended up seeing him a third time.
Oh, so they fucked?
She didn't say that. Made love.
Made love.
All right, whatever. I ended up seeing him a third time when I went to his after a night out a bit tipsy, but woke up in the morning like, what the fuck am I doing? Made up an excuse and I left. I eventually found out the truth. He had been caught drunk driving on a Saturday afternoon with his kids in the car. That's that actually makes me angry. That you're risky. Yeah, but you're risky.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's an alcoholic, meaning it's justified, but I mean, like, if you're drunk with your kids in the car on Thursday afternoon, you have an alcohol problem.
Okay. Banned from drinking, was having required therapy and had to wear a tag. His ex was also taking him to court to change the custody agreement once his tag came off. Do not blame her. Sorry. He eventually ended up going off work sick when his head asked him if he had been drinking during the day at school. Holy guacamole.
Yeah. Good teacher. I'd be buzzing if I was at school and my teacher was drunk. I'd be like, yeah, remember that assignment you set us? Yeah, you said it wasn't actually due anymore.
Now, you would think that's enough for one person, but wait. Matched with another guy 2 months later on Tinder.
Stop it.
Handsome. Good job. Apparently nice house. He sent me photos of some decorating he had done and we clicked. Well, turns out this guy had been to prison. Not once, but twice.
Fuck's sake.
For gambling with other people's money. 2 other women's money. You're going to be lucky number 3. Apparently he was never in a relationship with either woman, but they lent him money. Thousands and thousands of pounds. If you Google his name, an article comes up and it's not pretty reading.
Has she put his name?
No.
What the fuck? How? Hello?
Attach it to this email, please.
Can you imagine if it's...
Right. It's not a pretty reading. To make matters worse, he didn't have his own house, as he told me. He still lived with his ex, even though they had apparently been split up for nearly 2 years.
So he was sending her decorations for his ex.
So crazy.
Just bragging about this house that's not actually mine.
When I caught him out, he said he slept on the living room floor and only stayed as he couldn't afford to move out and for the sake of the kids. He worked shifts, so who knows what the truth is. He could easily have just been seeing me behind her back, even though he talked about us getting married. After all that, I did actually end up meeting the most wonderful man on Tinder and we had the most incredible first date. And then since then, it's been 4 months of pure wonderfulness. He is a genuinely wonderful man and makes me the happiest I've ever been and definitely has no criminal records, skeletons in this one's closet. So pleased. I guess sometimes you do have to kiss some frogs to find your prince.
Yes, love that. Thank you so much. Oh, okay, this stood out. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is called My Sister, the Side Chick, Other Woman, the Cheat, Forgiveness, ?
So her sister loved this a lot to register in a title.
Okay, are we ready? Yeah. Hey girls, I'm really hoping this gets out there as I'm desperate for help or advice. It's a long one.
We're here.
Strap up.
Buckle in.
So context, my sister had been happily in a relationship for 5 years with someone who was a family friend. We fell pregnant at the same time and we had our boys. All seemed well. She supported me through a rocky patch of postnatal depression and nearly breaking up. We didn't have the best relationship, but the last 5 years, at least, she was my rock. Rewind to last year, she was spending a bit of personal time with a colleague. I would joke that something's going on and it was weird. She was going round for dinner or cups of tea, leaving her little boy and fella at home. She got defensive. There were a few hiccups in her relationship we spoke about, but nothing to the extent that would lead me to believe she was so unhappy. I don't actually think she was I thought she meant that her sister was the cheater in her relationship. I think she's just saying that her sister's cheating.
Yeah.
Anyway, September came and she decided to end her relationship and, in her words, wanted support, not solutions, on how to save her relationship. This seemed out of nowhere, but still suspicious that it was happening at the same time. I asked her outright and she had denied it had anything to do with this work bloke. I trusted her. She was in the process of moving out and I decided to follow her at 5 a.m. one morning when she was going to watch the sunrise and take some photos of it at a nearby marina.
Oh, she does that with our kids.
Is she a photographer? I was determined I was right and what she was doing was so wrong. Alongside the feeling of her lying, I wanted to get facts. I lost her car I was following and so went up and parked at the marina whilst waiting for her to turn up. I sat and felt so guilty that I was doing this and betraying her trust, so I left before I had a chance. It's been rocky ever since, trying to put aside the fact that I don't believe her to help her move out and support her. Without the evidence, I have no leg to stand on, but the feeling of being lied to is just too hard to handle. I've tried to explain this to her in ways that doesn't make her sound like their instigator to try and understand, but to no avail. Our whole relationship has been broken because of this. I've reached out, she's had an issue, then she's not spoken about for months. She's reached out and I've not taken the olive branch. There's a lot more to unpack, and what's probably important to know is that her ex-partner, baby daddy, is still a really good friend and has continued a friendship with us and my wider family. We still see my nephew through him, etc., and all of that is fine, but I understand she has an issue with that. Lastly, 3 weeks after actually moving out, she had this work colleague stay over. It confirmed all I needed to know. And so moving forward, it's been incredibly difficult. I can't move past it, not just what she did, but the way that she lied to me about it too. Please help. How can I move forward and repair our relationship? A few things about that. I feel like, looking at it from one angle first, like, she is a grown adult and she is entitled to do whatever she wants. And I'm trying to think, if it was my sister, I don't know if I would necessarily like ruin the relationship I've got with her because of something that she has or hasn't done, because you're not in charge of what someone else does. I think for me it would probably be more the lying.
Yeah.
But I would almost, the thing is, you're wanting to find out if she's lying so you can go guns blazing and be like, I can't believe what you're doing. But I would probably be more of the sort of person that would be like, I want you to know that you can trust me. If you're doing something wrong, that's why you're lying. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to judge. I don't think it's like your place to judge someone on what they're doing as long as they're not lying to you. I could be wrong. I understand because she's close with the father of the child. But
It's hard when it's family. I think, yeah, I'm trying to think if it was one of my sisters. Firstly, I think the fact she's not like come out right and said it, I think she's obviously embarrassed.
But she knows, I don't think it's embarrassment. Like, she knows she's doing wrong.
Yeah. So I think similar to you, I wouldn't necessarily let that be the breakdown of our relationship, but I would express like, it makes me feel uncomfortable. I think you've done something that perhaps isn't right.
I think I would be more offended about the lying, like
Why are you lying to me?
However, by the sounds of your email, I think your sister probably knows that if you knew the truth, that would probably be the end of the relationship anyway.
But it doesn't sound like they've had the most stable or positive relationship anyway. Like, she said, like, there's other things that...
Right.
So I think it's a really difficult one. Look, at the end of the day, maybe you do need to take a few steps back if you want to. And I think...
Well, hold on. Did she say that she doesn't want to reach out an olive branch? Oh, and I've reached out. Hold on. And you haven't taken the olive branch. I think at the end of the day, like, I don't think it's for you to make judgment on what she's doing. But if it bothers you that much and makes you that uncomfortable that you don't feel like there's a relationship there, then there's your answer.
But it doesn't have to be no relationship. It can just be stepping back a bit, and it might take a few months or a bit of time to adjust and to kind of, I don't know, recognise some things and let situations play out. I don't think you need to cut all ties, but I think there's ways of, do you know what? A lot of it, I think, is like being able to protect your own energy. If you feel like your emotional energy is being drained from worrying about a situation that doesn't directly involve you, sometimes it's not worth your while. It's not worth your energy. So sometimes you do have to, it's like with anything, you have to set your boundaries and hold your boundaries and be firm with that and be like, do you know what? Worrying about what you're doing is actually draining so much from my emotional energy. I think as humans, we have a certain amount of emotional energy per day. And if we're draining that out on things that don't directly relate to us or benefit us or impact us, we're just wasting that. It needs to be, particularly if you've got your own children or your own relationships, that's where that emotional energy should be going. So sometimes it's about setting your boundaries, holding those boundaries, being like, do you know what, look, I don't want to completely break ties, but I'm just going to step back for a bit, let things sort themselves out, and maybe we can revisit this when there's been a bit of time. It's like time, isn't it? Yeah. Time sometimes is not just a healer, but things...
I feel like you trying to investigate and find out what she's doing and trying to catch her out, like, what's the Yeah.
That's also going to make her feel a certain way as well. Like, I don't know, it's quite toxic-y. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'd understand that more, like trying to find out if like she's being cheated on. But if she's doing it, it's not your problem. And in the nicest possible way, it's also not really your business. I think like concentrate more on your relationship, your child, and keep your side of the road clean. And maybe let her know that you feel a bit uncomfortable with how it's happened, and this is your opinion on it or what you believe has happened, and then just draw a line there and just be civil
for a bit. Yeah, simple. You don't have to like
be better do.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Caught red-handed with the same bed sheets nearly 1 year on.
Well, it's so going to be like a photo and the bed sheets are in it or something. I don't know.
Read it. Who has jazzy bed sheets? Mine are all plain.
Mine are white.
Yeah.
With a bit of fake tan.
Right. Hi, Tash and Carly. Firstly, your podcast has helped me so much over the last year, so thank you. My partner of 12 years and husband for 9 months of that randomly, out of the blue, started acting shady, staying out all night, and let me know there would be a lot of work trips coming up whilst I was on maternity leave with our 6-month-old daughter and looking after our 10-year-old son. I didn't think too much of it, as he has always liked to go out with his mates, and thought I was always really flexible with him doing this. But things just felt different. One day he went out and stayed out all night. He hadn't been online on WhatsApp since 7 p.m. the night before. I knew in my gut this was different, as he was out with his mates who would be online until silly o'clock in the morning. When he came home the next morning, I quizzed him and he got really angry with me. Next thing I know, he's packing a bag and telling me he isn't happy anymore and needs time to think about everything. Defensive.
No, that's deflective.
Deflective. This completely shook me. I was on maternity leave with our 6-month-old daughter, looking after our 10-year-old son, and I thought we were in a good place given we had just got married. The next day we had to attend our son's football presentation evening with all our friends. I had to play happy families pretending things were okay. My husband again was acting strangely, like he needed to be somewhere. He dropped us back home and said he was going back to stay on his mate's sofa. I got home and something in me just knew something wasn't right. Gut instinct. Never ignore that, guys. I asked him to send me a selfie, to which he sent a very dark, unclear picture, like he had taken it on the sly. The bed sheets looked very feminine to me.
Hold on, why? Oh, bed sheets, right? Because he was.
So she obviously wanted proof from him.
No, sorry, I forgot that he was like on the sofa. I thought he was just he was out in the day, and he was in.
No, so she's like, well, show me where you are. Days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months. I said to him, there must be someone else. You don't just leave your family. He maintained for 4 months that there was no one else until I noticed a random girl, 8 years younger than us, who lives locally, following him on his TikTok. I quizzed him. He said she was just someone he was talking to. By talking, do you mean boning? After some digging, I found out that he had been living with this girl, but he maintained he just met her after leaving me. More months went on and I ended up being very unwell and had to stay in hospital for a week. It was at this point I found out they were actually in a serious relationship and living together. And I had no choice but to allow the kids to meet this girl, as he had to step up and look after them whilst I was unwell. We are now 10 months on and the kids go round to their dad's place with this other girl a couple of times a week. This past weekend, I asked for a photo of my daughter, and what was in the background? The exact same bedsheet as the photo he took the selfie the night after he walked out. Months and months of being made to feel like I'm the one going crazy, and I finally had the proof I needed to get some closure. Goes to show a woman's gut instinct is never wrong. Sorry for the long message, but it has been an eventful few months, but hoping I can now finally be at peace and move on with my own life.
Oh, her bedsheets sound gross.
Like,
but do you know what? There is something very, I'm happy you got that clarity, yeah, and that closure, realising there's nothing more damaging than being made to feel like you are crazy,
that you're losing your mind.
Yeah, and then you get that clarification that you were right the whole time. So I really hope that you're, I think she said 10 months on now. I really hope you are in a better place. I'm glad that we've been able to help. And I hope you know that he's not worth your time. Like, these guys are just, And do you know what? Anyone that's happy to do something like that to someone that they've loved, they're just not worth it, and you deserve so much better. So,
Anymore. Yeah.
Okay, this one's called Help, Am I Being Stupid? Probably. No, I'm joking.
No, it's probably just making you feel stupid.
Mm-hmm. Hi, I discovered your podcast a couple of days ago and I'm now binge listening.
Welcome.
Whenever I get the chance, you give great advice and I love the stories that come through to yourselves. Maybe off topic, so this may not be read out, but would like your views and opinions. So my partner proposed to me not long before our baby was born. To him, marriage is really important, as it is to his family too. I said yes at the time, it felt right, but the more I think about it and the more it's brought up in conversation, or we hear that someone else is, it fills me with dread. This may sound silly and petty of me, but the fact that he's previously been married is bothering me way more now than it ever did. It's not as if I didn't know before we got into a relationship, so I have no right or reason, do I? Like, for me, taking your vows for the second time and the whole date event will surely bring up memories, and naturally he compared ours to his first wedding, no? He treats me amazingly and I generally couldn't want or ask for anyone better, which is why I feel like a bad person as he's trying to do the right thing. He's been called husband before and I'll be the new wife. His mum has made comments before and always calls her his ex-wife, which of course she is, but I hate hearing it. We had forms from the church. He has to write all the details and name of the ex, plus the date of previous marriage, and we've had to speak about it over with a vicar, as not all second marriages can be accepted in the church. I've had to sit there listening to it all. Maybe I'm overthinking and overreacting, but I feel it's tarnishing the thought of it for me. And I've tried to avoid the whole subject and he's noticing. I've briefly told him how I feel, but he doesn't understand. I also found a save the date memo from the marriage in his belongings with his mum refusing to throw it away, as well as his wedding photo album in case he regrets it. Just to add, they have no children together and she was unfaithful and generally not a very nice person. He also speaks about his honeymoon location in conversation sometimes, not as in why he went, but it infuriates me as I think he may be reminiscing about their time there together. He doesn't speak about her, and I know he's got no positive feelings about her, so do I need help from a doctor for my head? Oh, bless, or is this kind of normal? Maybe I feel insecure since having baby number 4 and it's something I need to work out for myself. My feelings are valid, I know, but am I crazy? My ex, in brackets, for the first 3 children's dad, put me through domestic violence and cheated on me throughout our 10-year relationship, and my current partner would never do these things. I trust him wholeheartedly, really don't want to lose him. Please help.
Do you know what? I think as well, particularly knowing a bit of context about what you've gone through, or even just having gone through a hard relationship before, you're going to have insecurities. And I think a lot of this is your insecurities and your worries because of maybe how you, not to be like, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but like, there sounds like a bit of a lack of self-worth, like you're not worthy enough of his love or to be married to him. And look, I completely understand how you feel in terms of thinking he's been married before or he's been called a husband before. But I think you need to remind yourself there's a reason they're not together anymore. Mm. They're not together because, well, it sounds like trust was broken. But I don't believe someone would propose to you if they didn't genuinely love you and want to spend their life with you.
But do you know what? I don't think it's that. I can understand to a certain extent because I think that I've always had this idea in my head that I would be better with someone that
hasn't been
married and didn't have kids, because I do sometimes overthink and can get a bit jealous, and I don't like the thought of that like permanent ex being around. But at the end of the day, the way I think you also need to view it, and I know that you can't because you've never been married. I'm an ex-wife. I have been married, and I cannot wait for the day that I get to meet someone and get to marry them and be their wife. And I will never sit there and reminisce or think about my old relationship, because there is a reason I'm not with him. And I can't change that has happened, but that doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of getting married again and being someone else's wife. Just like your partner, like he, as you said, like he got cheated on, like you can't almost like hold him accountable for doing something that he did before he met you. Yeah. And it wasn't a bad thing. It's not like we're talking about, oh, he used to, be a drug dealer. And, you know, he just got married. He fell in love. He got married. It didn't work out. And now he wants you. So I think that you need to try and maybe do some inner work and realise that, like, he wants this. And you don't need to go to a doctor. You don't need help in that respect. But I think that you need to remind yourself that he can't help that he's got previous experiences with someone else.
And look, from someone who's in a situation, my boyfriend is getting divorced as well. He's been married to someone for a long period of time. And sometimes I find that hard. I find it hard that I will never be the mother of those children. And they've always got that link. And sometimes I get moments where I'm like, oh God, like I don't know. Yeah. Like, what if they reminisce about that? And so I think the first thing I want to say is, like, I think it's quite normal. I don't consider that I need to go to a doctor. I think
I had that at my ex-boyfriend's girlfriend.
I am a jealous person, but also, if I'm being honest, what I've gone through, like, with my marriage breakdown, I know that I am insecure in some elements. I know I'm insecure in terms of feeling like I'm enough for someone, feeling replaceable. And, like, one of my biggest things, I know you said, like, you feel bad talking to him about it, but I'd carefully articulate how it's making you feel, and not, like, in an accusatory way. Just, I would almost be like, I really don't know why it's affecting me so much, but it's making me feel this kind of way. And I think if he is an understanding person, he'll engage with you in that and want to understand. I know you said he doesn't, but sometimes, like, really...
Sometimes they don't need to understand. It's more just understand it. That's how you feel.
And, like, say to him, like, you know, I want to marry you, I love you, but I can't help but feel this kind of way. Like, for me, when I've been in situations, or I've said it before, I'm an overthinker. Like, sometimes I will literally create a whole scenario in my head and fully believe that's happened. So for me now, like, I will openly say that to him, and he'll give me that reassurance. Like, he's like, you do know you've literally just made that all up in your head, but none of that is true.
Yeah.
And also, do you know what? As someone who got married and is getting a divorce, when I marry someone again, for me, that actually means even more, because I think when you go through a divorce and you know how difficult,
and you're actually willing to want to do it again,
marry it again, you have to have faith that that is going to last forever, because you would not go through that a second time being like, oh, like, it's easy, I can just get divorced. Like, for me, if I was to ever marry someone again, like that, I mean, that's
even more of a big deal.
It's an even bigger deal than my first marriage, because I know the risks more, because I've lived through them. I know how difficult it is to go through a divorce. I know how mentally draining, financially difficult it is. I would never put myself in a situation and say yes to someone or marry someone who I didn't think I would be spending the rest of my life with.
Do you know what? Maybe it's actually changing your mindset and thinking, do you know what? I might be the second, but
I'm the last.
Yeah, but not only am I the last, but he's willing to go through it again for you.
Even
so
like, and as well, like, you've got to remember as well, he got cheated on. I agree.
He's the one that got hurt, and he willing
to do that all again for you. So I think you're special to him, and I think maybe you need to believe that. Like, there's no way he would be put, like, anyone who has been through a divorce, how would you put yourself through all that again?
People are like, I can't be asked, I don't believe in it, I don't want to get married again. It takes a really special person to want to do it again. So I hope that you hold on to that instead.
I agree.
Okay, confession of the week. So I split up from my ex-husband 6 months ago now. I've been on the dating scene a bit, but not had any much luck. Any much luck with guys. So I've changed my app. I'm now going to look for women. I've never been a lesbian, and I don't know if I'm really attracted to women, but I thought this is my opportunity to dabble in something a bit different. Last week, I went on my first date with another woman, and I've got to be honest, it was the best first date I have ever been on. The connection was there, the attraction was there, and she just got me. We're going on our second date next week, going to keep you updated, but this is a really exciting time of my life. Maybe that's what.
Maybe men can be that shit. I haven't considered it.
Maybe that's where I've gone wrong. Or maybe I need to be a lesbian.
I saw that Saving Grace. She got like over and she's now dating.
Yeah. Is that what I need to do?
Well, I feel like it would be great content for the pod. So
what? I need to just become a lesbian? Just
dabble.
Don't know if I can.
Do it for the plot.
Do it for the plot. Do it for the plot.
I'm joking.
For the plot. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. We hope you loved it. Yeah, and guys, if you're looking for another episode
with juicier,
more
unfiltered, more
not cutting out all the stuff that we've cut out of this episode, then make sure you go and check Patreon on our Instagram account, and you've got another weekly episode to listen to.
You're welcome, guys.
Go and enjoy. Bye, guys.
Bye.